I'm Jolene Wynn, and this is the Porn Addict's Wife podcast, episode number 105, Want Dissonance. Your life does not have to revolve around your husband's pornography addiction. You are not defined by his choices or by what he sees on a screen. You are not just the porn addict's wife. You are so much more. In this podcast, I'm going to teach you how to go from handling it to healed. Because I've been where you are, and you don't have to stay there. My name is Jolene Wynn. I'm a member of the LDS Faith, a certified life coach, and a wife of a former porn addict. And this is a podcast for the porn addict's wife. Hello, my ladies. How are you? Happy Sunday. Well, I know this is coming out on a Monday, but I hope you guys are having a great day. I feel like I have so much to catch you up on. A little bit of personal stuff because I like to tell you guys what I'm doing because I like to think of this as a conversation. My in-laws are in town, which is always fun. They haven't been out in a couple of years, and it is so fun to have them out here. My father-in-law had some kind of conference in Charleston, which is just a couple of hours away from us, and so they flew in, and they've been here since last Wednesday, and so my father-in-law had to go to Charleston for his conference, but my mother-in-law has been here, and so she's just been playing with my kids and hanging out with us, which is so fun. We've gone to the park, and she has made bread with the kids and cinnamon rolls and made us dinner, and it is so nice to have her here and playing with the kids, and they are just soaking up all of this time with her because they live in Idaho, so we don't see them a ton, and so it's been so fun to have them here. And so they're here again. My father-in-law's conference is over. He came back today, and they'll be here tomorrow before they leave tomorrow night. So my kids are just so excited. And especially because their school is doing Charlotte's Web as the play. And so I have all three of my kids in it and my other two nephews. And my daughter is Charlotte, which is super exciting. And then Fern and Avery. Those are their three parts, and it's super fun. I don't know a lot about Charlotte's Web. I haven't read it in a very long time. So I've been brushing up on my story of Charlotte's Web, and their play is tomorrow. So they're super excited that Grandpa and Grandma get to be there. And something that's really fun is that my husband got to rearrange his schedule a little bit, and he gets to take a little bit longer of a lunch tomorrow so he can come and see a little bit of the play before he has to go back to work, which is super fun. I'm very excited about it. So we are all in play mode here at our house, and they are preparing to perform their little play tomorrow for all the parents, and it's just going to be so adorable. So that's what's happening, and we're going to the beach this weekend. I'm so excited. So we live just a couple hours from the beach here in North Carolina, and so this weekend we just got a little Airbnb, and we're going down with my sister and another one of my good friends, and we're just going to go to the beach for a couple of days. And I'm so excited because I didn't get to go to the beach really last summer. And so I'm ready to go. I'm so ready. But the one thing we're worried about, this was an Airbnb that's not new, but it just got renovated. And so this week is actually the first week that it's open. So we're crossing our fingers that we don't get there. And they're like, oh, hey, sorry, there's no, I don't know what there could be, but they're just renovating it, and it just wasn't quite done. And so they didn't have any pictures of it yet. So we're hoping everything's done and that it's ready on time so that we can go. And that's the plan. So it's going to be a fun week. And this is all leading into next week, which just has something to do with y'all, is next week is when I run my trust workshop, which I cannot believe, you guys. Today is May 15th. It's already halfway through the month. I'm so excited. So next week, okay, May 23rd through the 25th, this is next Monday, I am starting my trust workshop. That is when I'm running my trust workshop, and it's free, and I want you all to come. So all you have to do is head to my website, jolenewynn.com. There is a trust workshop tab. You can go right there, click on it. It'll let you sign up for free. This is going to be 3 days of coaching and learning about how to trust after betrayal. This is the number one thing that I get questions on. This is the number one thing that y'all struggle with. And so I am so excited to bring this to you. And I want to encourage you guys to block this time off and come live. Again, it's at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, these calls will be recorded, so if you sign up, you will get access to the recordings. But I really want to encourage y'all to come live all 3 days so that you can get all the material and get coaching on it, because that's really where the transformation happens. It's when you start to apply the knowledge that you're learning, that's when you start seeing the change. And I can help you uncover things that you aren't even aware of that are issues. So if you feel like you want to trust them, but you're stuck and you don't know how to move forward, this is for you. Okay, so come again, that's next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, May 23rd through the 25th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can sign up for free on my website. So just go to jolenewind.com, go to the Trust Workshop tab, and all the details are right there. And I can't wait to see all of you. The other thing that I wanted to let you guys know, I wanted to talk to you guys about the Nashville retreat. Okay, as you guys know, I'm hosting a retreat in October. It's going to be October 13th through the 16th, and that is rapidly approaching, you guys. And I'm so excited. Now, ladies, there are only 15 spots for this retreat, and I'm so excited. You deserve this trip. Like, let's be honest, for all the things that you're going through, you deserve a girls trip to Nashville. And that's what this is going to be. So in June, I am going to open this first to all of my clients. They get first dibs on spots. So if you want to be someone who has first dibs on spots, come join my coaching program and it'll open up first to you. Okay, so that's going to open up to them in June, and then it's going to open up to the rest of y'all. If there's any spots left, are going to open up to the rest of y'all in July. So just be aware. The best way that you can keep tabs on this and be the first one to know is by signing up for my emails. So again, if you go to my website, jolenewind.com, you can sign up for my emails. That way you don't miss the announcements, when this is going to go live, when the tickets are able to be purchased, when you can reserve your spot, and all of that jazz. I did want to let you guys know, I put GIFs in my emails because, as you guys know, I don't like this to be big and heavy. Everything that we're going through is big and heavy anyway. I don't feel like you need to make it any heavier. And so I have a very lighthearted approach. And so my emails contain a lot of GIFs. Now, what I have learned is that if you send emails with images and GIFs, they're more likely to get filtered to spam. I didn't know this. So all you have to do is go into if you're already subscribed to my emails and you're like, hey, I'm not getting these, then go into your emails, go into your spam folder, and you just add me to your contact list or mark it as not spam and make sure that they're coming. So that way you can make sure that you don't miss any of this information about Nashville. Okay. So again, to be the first to know, come join coaching because you will get first dibs on spots, and then also join my email list. Okay. It's going to open up so soon. I know it seems really far away, but it's going to come so fast. And I can't wait. And I can't wait to see who snags these 15 spots. I know there are so many of my clients that have already said, I want one of them. I'm so excited. So I hope that I'm so excited to see who gets it. I'm so excited. If you feel like this is for you, ladies, commit to yourself that you're going to come. And I can't wait to see you there. It's going to be an amazing weekend. Okay. Today, ladies, I want to talk about want dissonance. Okay. This is coming up because a lot of times we want two opposite things, right? So what do you do when you want two things, especially when those two things are opposite, right? It creates a discomfort internally because our brain doesn't like when we have two opposites, right? When we have two opposites, that's what dissonance is. All right. So want dissonance is when we want two opposing things. Our brain wants to just pick one. Right? This is much easier when one of those things that we want is quote unquote good or positive and the other one is quote unquote bad or negative, right? It's much easier for our brain to pick one. Okay. Our brain can look at both. It can weigh the possibilities and quickly we can make a decision. This is much harder when both things are equal, right? Where one isn't obviously better than the other, but they're opposite. That is when we feel like we get stuck because we say, I don't know which way to go. How do I have both competing wants internally, right? So typically when we face a decision, we have two wants, right? Two desires, and we need to choose one. Our brain will try to resolve with what's the easiest, okay? This is our primitive brain speaking. It operates all decision-making based off what's the easiest, the fastest, and the most convenient, okay? This is our immediate gratification part of our brain, okay? This is the one that will always choose to eat the entire sleeve of Thin Mints over going for a walk, right? Or eating carrots, right? This is the immediate gratification that says, this one tastes better, that's what I want. This is easiest, that's what I'm going to do, okay? This is the part that clicks, watch next episode on Netflix when you should stop and go to bed. right? This is the part that keeps scrolling on Instagram when you should be making dinner, okay? This is the fastest immediate gratification part of your brain, okay? You have a want, and your primitive brain tells you to choose what will bring you the most pleasure now. So when you have want dissonance, when you have two opposing desires, your primitive brain will tell you to choose whichever brings you the most satisfaction the fastest. Okay, for example, if you want to trust your husband and you don't want to trust him because you're afraid of getting hurt, that's two opposing desires. Part of you wants to, part of you doesn't, okay? Your primitive brain will choose the one that is the easiest to you. Okay, the one that relieves the most tension, the most anxiety, the most conflict internally. That's the one that your brain will choose. The problem with making decisions this way is that it means we are choosing our actions based on how we feel in the moment. Okay, the thing that feels better in the present, and that won't necessarily produce the result you want in the long run. Okay, just like choosing to eat cake over veggies feels better in the short term, if you always make decisions that way, it's not going to create the healthy body that you're looking to create. And it can actually add on even more problems like health problems, diabetes or asthma or weight gain or whatever it is, right? So a lot of times the problems that we have can actually compound by choosing this immediate gratification, by letting our immediate gratification part of our brain take control and make all of our decisions. Okay? Now, most adults tell you to make decisions by weighing pros and cons, right? Have you ever heard that? Just weigh the pros and cons. Which should I choose? I don't know. Let's see. Which one's better, right? However, when we want two positive things, this can get really tricky because our brain will weigh both options and determine that they both have the same amount of pros and cons, right? For instance, going with the trust example, there are pros and cons to both, okay? Choosing to trust means you get to trust him. That's a pro. The con is that it leaves you open to disappointment, right? On the other hand, choosing not to trust him means you don't have to trust him, which is a pro. But the con is now you second guess everything he says and you're waiting to say, I knew it, right? The reason that this is so tough is because the pros and cons seem to kind of equal on both sides, right? There's not one that's a clear winner. And when this happens, when there's no clear winner, it's very easy to get stuck in between decisions. And we call this indecision, right? Now, when we have two wants, we often stay in indecision. We sit, we go back and forth trying to see if any more pros and cons like magically appear to make the decision easier to see, right? But the longer you stay in indecision, waiting for a pro and con to suddenly appear and make this decision for you, the more problems you create internally. And I'm going to go more into this topic next week. I'm going to do a whole podcast on indecision. But what I'm going to tell you right now today is that indecision is a decision. We just don't realize it. You're choosing not to choose. And that choice alone leans you toward one direction or the other. Not making a decision actually keeps us leaning toward one decision, one of those wants. Okay? Again, I'm going to go more into this next week, but I just want to leave you with this. When we have a hard time making decisions, when we allow ourselves to sit in the want dissonance, okay, waiting for something to make the choice for us, that in and of itself is a choice. And that's what keeps us stuck because we're waiting for something else to come along and decide for us. We're waiting on something else to shift obviously enough to say, oh, this is clearly the right answer. Let me choose that. If you guys go back and listen to, I did a podcast a long time ago on I think it's called Making the Right Choice, the quote unquote right choice. Go back and listen to that one. This is very, very similar. A lot of times we use our desire for making the right choice as a reason to not make a choice. And that in of itself is a choice. Okay. This is how you stay stuck. So if you're feeling stuck somewhere in your life, if you're feeling stuck in, I want to trust him, but I don't, I want to lose weight, but I can't seem to, or what, I really want to get up in the morning, but I'm just not, and I don't know why. This is where this comes in. Okay. So what do we do about it? Okay. Our brain's approach to want dissonance, our brains approach want dissonance by saying that it has to be either or, right? It wants to get rid of the dissonance and thinks the only solution is to choose one or the other, okay? Today, I want to offer an alternative, okay? What I want to offer is that you get rid of the dissonance through acceptance, okay? Your brain wants to get rid of the dissonance through erasing one of the options, okay? But what I want to offer is that you do it through acceptance. When you have two competing wants, accepting that you want both of them erases the dissonance because now there's no competition, okay? The discomfort eases because you give yourself permission to want both, even if it doesn't make logical sense, okay? For example, when you want to trust him, but you also want to not trust him, your brain thinks you can only have one or the other. But you don't. You can have both. You can tell your brain that you want both and learn to accept that. Your brain will object. Ladies, I'm just telling you right now. Okay, it will give you all the reasons that won't work. It will give you all the reasons why you have to pick just one. But it's not true, okay? Usually this is when our brain wants to add meaning to what you choose. Okay, it's like, well, you can't choose that one because blah, 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 right? But I want to offer that you just let it sit. Okay, ask yourself, what if it's possible? What if it's possible that I can accept that I trust him and that I don't? That part of me trusts him and part of me doesn't. I can trust him with my money and I cannot trust him with his phone, right? Things like that. This is how you learn to accept the dissonance. Part of me trusts my child and part of me doesn't. Part of me believes he's telling the truth and part of me doesn't, okay? Part of me wants this and part of me wants that, and it's okay. Learn to look at that dissonance and accept that you have two opposing wants and give yourself permission to want both. And that is what will erase this dissonance. Okay. Something that helps with accepting want dissonance is compartmentalizing the wants. Okay. Just like I was saying, part of me wants this and part of me wants that, right? Your brain thinks again that it's all or nothing. I can either have this or I can have that because all of me either wants this or that, but that's not necessarily true. Part of you can want this and part of you can want that. And learning how to compartmentalize that and just say, okay, a part of me wants this and a part of me doesn't. That's what can help you accept that dissonance, right? Part of me wants to trust him and part of me really doesn't, right? Part of me wants to go on this trip and part of me doesn't. Part of me wants to yell and scream at him and part of me wants him to hug me and kiss me and tell me I'm his favorite, right? Part of me wants a puppy and part of me doesn't, right? The beauty of learning how to do this is that once you get rid of the dissonance, you are better able to zoom out and make decisions not based on what feels better in the moment, but based on what the results would be of each want, okay? What would the result be if I continued to act on not trusting my husband? What would the result be if I continued to act on trusting my husband, right? I want both. And accepting that I want both helps me look at both and see the want, see the desire, and yet not make my decision based on that want or from that desire. Do you guys see the difference? Now, I know that this is easier said than done, but it is such a powerful skill that will enable you to have both, even if they're opposite, if you choose. Okay. And learning how to see this, learning how to take kind of this zoomed out perspective and see both wants and feel both wants, but not act from both of those wants is what enables you to start having more control over your life. Okay. Because right now what happens is we sit and with two wants, we sit until we want something more. Okay, we just sit. It's almost like we have them weighed in both of our hands and we're just waiting for something in our life outside of us to shift enough that it makes one obviously better than the other. And all that does, ladies, again, is keep you stuck and waiting. And it keeps the result that you have right now perpetuating into the future, even if it's not a result that you want. So in order to have a result that you want, in order to create the life that you want, in order to gain control again, this is what we need to learn how to do. When you have two opposing wants, you have to learn how to look at them and accept them. Give yourself permission to want both, not make it mean anything, and then zoom out and be able to make decisions not based on how they feel in the moment, but based on the result that you want to create in the future. That, ladies, is how you create the life that you've always wanted. This is how you start moving forward, even if he never does. Ladies, I know that this is a lot, and this is an advanced concept. This is not life coaching 101, okay? So come to the training next week. Come to the trust workshop. Get coaching on this, because this is so common, right? This is the number one thing that we get hung up on is I want to trust him again, but I don't know how. If that is you, come to this training. I will coach you on it. We will talk it through, and we will get you moving forward. I love you ladies so much, and I can't wait to see you all again during the trust workshop next week. And I'll see you guys next week on a brand new episode. So take care. All right, ladies, if you are loving what you are learning on the podcast, I want to invite you to come join my coaching program. This is where we take it to the next level, and we actually start applying and learning the how of moving forward. This podcast has taught you the what, and the coaching program is where you're going to learn the how. This is where you learn how to actually start moving forward, process all of that pain that you feel, and let it go once and for all. If you are ready to finally move forward and stop living a life that revolves around your husband's pornography addiction, then I want to invite you to come join me today. Just head to my website, joleneWynn.com, and sign up today. I can't wait to see you there.